Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, guys. Your home for NFL talk here on YouTube. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my 2014 NFL Draft prospect rankings, position by position here, counting down 10 to 1 for everyone. And this video is for the quarterbacks in the 2014 class. Certainly these guys creating a lot of story and buzz leading into the combine here in a couple weeks. Let's get right to the rankings. At number 10, I have Tajh Boyd. Tajh Boyd, the quarterback from Clemson. Guy who's surrounded with a bevy of talent there, most notably at the wide receiver position, with DeAndre Hopkins and Sammy Watkins on his team there during his tenure in Clemson. And Boyd is a guy who was tremendously productive at the college level on some very good teams at Clemson. Very good outside the pocket, very good as a runner, which was clearly established there. Throws a very good deep ball, all right? Where he lacks sometimes is in his mechanics and his accuracy, short to intermediate range. And look, that's something that these NFL scouts and coaches really hone in on, because sometimes it can be tough to completely change a guy's mechanics and or teach him to be accurate. If a coach thinks they can change that about Boyd, look for him to maybe be a starter here 3 or 4 years down the line. But at minimum, in this new day and age in the NFL, I think he could be a valuable backup for a team. Tajh Boyd at number 10. At number 9, I have Aaron Murray from Georgia. Aaron Murray put up very good numbers while the quarterback in the SEC at Georgia. Maybe lacks the prototypical size and arm strength that you look for, but when you combine those two with the fact that he's now coming off an ACL, he's definitely a guy that I'm intrigued by, because I think I could get him late in the draft if I'm an NFL coach or a GM. We'll see how he throws at his pro day, if the leg is at a point where he can throw. The leadership traits I think are there for Murray. Again, the production in college is, how does that knee check out, and just how bad compared to the other prospects is that arm strength? I think we'll have a lot to tell where Aaron Murray goes in this draft. At number 8, I have David Fales from San Jose State. David Fales to me is the most intriguing guy on this list, because I think he can be a consistently good starter in the NFL, but he's got to go to the right system. He's got to go to a West Coast offense. This is a guy who has all the leadership qualities, very intelligent, pinpoint accurate with the football, can get out of the pocket and create if he needs to, and scramble and pick up a first down, things of that nature. He does lack throwing the deep ball, though. 25 yards or more, you can notice that if you watch any film on him, which you can catch here on YouTube, guys. Type in a prospect's name. You can see film footage of any guy you really want. It's a very valuable tool to use when you are evaluating players. And with Fales, that's what you see. But I think if the right team that runs the West Coast offense drafts him, I think that he could be a real gem that you can get, between, let's say, the 3rd and 5th round in the upcoming draft. At number 7, I have Jimmy Garoppolo from Eastern Illinois. He's a guy who, if you didn't know who he was a month ago, you know who he is now, because he's probably benefited the most from the Senior Bowl East-West Shrine Game circuit. He played in the East-West Shrine Game, was good there, and then took A.J. McCarron's spot in the Senior Bowl and took advantage of his opportunities. I give him credit, because he's a guy who plays at Eastern Illinois, obviously not at the forefront during his regular season, but he's really shown the ability, the athleticism, good enough arm strength, not the biggest guy in the world, but makes up for that in a little bit of escapability. Again, not a super amount of tape on this guy that you can evaluate, but from what you've seen on the tape and for what you've seen in the Senior Bowl practices and East-West Shrine Game practices, a guy I think can be developed sort of in the line of, let's say, a Tony Romo to be a quarterback in the league eventually. I can definitely see that with Jimmy Garoppolo. At number 6, I have A.J. McCarron. There's a lot of differing views on McCarron, maybe one of the most polarizing quarterback prospects. And with McCarron, he's going to have that winner label attached to him for his entire football career, rightfully so. He was on a lot of good teams at Alabama. But that same label may hinder him, because people may think he was a product of that program at Alabama and from playing around all that talent, most notably on the offensive line. You saw in the game against Oklahoma where he looked a little bit rattled when he was under pressure. For me, I don't get too caught up in the fact that he didn't play in the Senior Bowl and he might not throw at the Combine. You have plenty of tape on A.J. McCarron, I think, to make an accurate evaluation. He's a guy who's accurate intermediately, okay? I think throws a better deep ball than people give him credit for. But again, How is he going to react when he's under considerable pressure in the NFL from a pass rush standpoint? Something we haven't seen at Alabama all that much. And when we did, he didn't look that great. So A.J. McCarron at number 6. At number 5, I have Zach Mettenberger from LSU. And I firmly believe if Mettenberger had finished out last year, didn't tear his ACL, he'd be firmly in that top 4. And I think after scouts, if he's able to throw at his LSU Pro Day, this is a guy who has a cannon for an arm. Think back when Ryan Mallett came out, that kind of arm. Think back to when Jay Cutler came out, that kind of arm. He lacks mobility. I mean, that's pretty clear. How bad does this ACL injury hinder that mobility even more? But I think from the growth I saw from him in the pro-style offense under Cam Cameron last year, I really like what I saw. And I think Mettenberger is going to be a guy you can get, mid-second round, maybe early third round, and a guy that can be a starter in the league, and I think be a starter a lot sooner than people think. Zach Mettenberger at number 5. When you get into these top 4 guys now here, these are going to be the guys that teams draft with the hope of them being a franchise guy. And these 4 start with Derek Carr. Derek Carr, who I think is definitely a notch below the top 3 guys. This is going to be the guy that GMs and coaches are questioning. Can he be our franchise guy? Is he worth taking, here at pick, let's say, number 8 to the Vikings, that they need a quarterback, for instance, if the other 3 guys are taken? And, to me, the jury's still out on Derek Carr. I'm not as sold on him as other people. He has a great arm, okay? He has, shows great leadership traits. He has an NFL pedigree from his brother David playing in the NFL. Threw the ball a lot at Fresno State, so you have plenty of tape to look at as far as that goes. What I don't like about him is the fact that he has a habit when he's under pressure to do things way out of character, throwing off his back foot. He develops happy feet to me a good amount. I didn't like when a young quarterback is a franchise quarterback for a team, he's probably going to a team that's not that great usually. And to me, sort of similar to how his brother was, ironically enough, when he's under that consistent pressure in the pocket, how is he going to react? I'm not sure about that. And I don't think he has the athleticism to pull it down and make plays. But the arm strength is there, the leadership is there, and the production is there, and the great Senior Bowl week is there as well. So I think that vaults Carr into the first round. Quarterback number 4 on my list. At number 3, I have Blake Bortles from Central Florida. When we think of Blake Bortles, think of a 6'4", 230-pound, sort of like a Roethlisberger-type build, with more athleticism than Roethlisberger, but less polished as a passer. And to me, that's really what makes Roethlisberger special, because he buys time to throw the ball down the field. Ceiling, that's what Bortles can become. Right now, he's not a finished product like that. What I like from Bortles more than anything is, there was games, if you look at his big games, they weren't always flawless games, but there were games where he might have made a bad play early, interception early, fumble early, but he came back in that same game, stuck with it, and made big plays to lead his team to victories. I like that trait. I like his arm. I like his athleticism. For his size, the most athletic guy, quarterback in this draft. He's going to go probably in the top 10. Blake Bortles at number 3. At number 2, I have Johnny Manziel. And look, just to get this out of the way, the off-the-field stuff doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people. Him signing memorabilia when he wasn't supposed to, I don't know, doesn't bother me that much. I haven't heard of any laws he's broken that probably everyone listening to this video right now is broken. I mean, I know he's broken underage drinking laws, but to me, that's not too huge of a concern for me. Obviously, the immaturity maybe he showed on Twitter bothers some people. I get that. Not as big a concern for me, especially now that he'll be a pro. I like his obviously his ability to make plays and make something out of nothing is second to no one in this draft. I don't think there's really any denying that. If you need any more proof of that, then I don't think you've even ever watched the guy play. To me, where he improved this year, he was a lot better delivering the ball from the pocket than I think he's getting credit for. It's something that you could tell he made a conscious effort to do. Times where he probably could have tucked it and ran, but passed from the pocket. I think when he comes out of working dedicated with the quarterback coaches he's working with out in California, I think he's going to look like a completely different guy. And I'd be surprised if he slips out of the top 5 here in the draft. Johnny Manziel, really in the mold of the newer quarterback in the NFL from Texas A&M. But the number 1 quarterback to me, clear cut to me, is Teddy Bridgewater from Louisville. This is a guy who was tremendously productive at the college level, so you can check that box off. All right, he played in a pro-style offense. You can check that box off. He's a lot more athletic than people think. I think the reason why people don't think he's super athletic is because whenever he rolls out, he's always looking to pass. But when he needs to tuck it and run, he can tuck it and run. Has the ability to throw the ball in tight windows. To me, has a better deep ball than people give him credit for. I like his leadership and toughness. If you watch that Sugar Bowl against Florida last year, the hits he took, standing in that pocket, making those throws, were very impressive to me. I think he had a lot of pressure on him this year and was still very productive at Louisville. I know he doesn't play the level of competition that, let's say, a Manziel, Mettenberger, or McCarron plays. But I look at Teddy Bridgewater, and I think of a McNabb when he was in college. A McNabb before he put, all the strength and weight on when he was with the Eagles. And I think Bridgewater can develop into that. And I think he's the clear-cut franchise guy here. If you're a quarterback, if you need a quarterback and you need a guy who can play on the offense, Bridgewater is your guy. So, guys, that's 10 through 1, how I see the quarterbacks in this draft. Hit me up in the comments. Let me
know what you think. Hit me up on Twitter as well. I'm doing a video like this for every position, guys. So be sure to check those out. I got my mock draft up. I have my free agent rankings as well up. I do, lastly, scouting profiles on a lot of these guys. So check out all those videos. Be sure to subscribe. It's completely free. Again, this is your NFL home on YouTube, guys. Can't wait to hear what you think in the comments. Thanks again for listening. Have a great night.